places I love really, really, really hard. But I'm happy to, love somebody who wanna, love somebody back. You know what I'm saying? He is just such a sweetheart. Ain't nobody tell him to tie my goddamn boot either, but he said it wasn't and laced right, so he laced it right. It was so funny. But he's definitely a sweetheart, and um he deserved the best.
Papoose had been quiet for weeks, and for a man who built half his life and half his reputation on loyalty, silence from him was louder than any public statement he could have made. His silence didn't just feel unusual, it felt loaded, heavy, intentional, and everyone who followed him, Remy, or even Claressa Shields, felt it immediately. Something was off. But everything changed the night he walked out of that dimly lit hotel lobby with his hood pulled low and his jaw clenched so tightly it looked like he was holding back anger, disappointment, and regret all at once. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to be seen. But fame doesn't care about what people want. It doesn't care about privacy. It doesn't care about timing. Fame is a spotlight with no off switch, and the moment the footage leaked, the internet erupted. There he was, Papoose, stepping out of a hotel everyone knew Claressa Shields had checked into just hours earlier. No smiles, no warmth, no sign of the energy people expected from a couple who once seemed so unstoppable. He didn't look like a man in love. He looked like a man carrying a truth too heavy for one heart to hold. And that truth was about to explode. People online didn't even wait for context. They didn't need it. They saw the clip and ran wild with theories. Some said he was stressed. Some said it was business. But most whispered the same thing. Something between Papoose and Claressa was falling apart, and fast. And if those whispers were true, everyone knew the next name that was going to come up: Remy Ma. The woman he stood beside through storms that would have broken other relationships. The woman he defended publicly and privately. The woman whose mistakes he forgave. The woman whose victories he celebrated like his own. The woman he loved out loud unapologetically for years. She wasn't just a part of his past, she was part of his identity. And no matter how much people tried to deny it, no matter how much they tried to claim he had moved on, the bond between them was something time, distance, or new relationships could never fully erase, which is exactly why Claressa felt threatened. Whether she admitted it or not, that night, everything shifted. According to a source close to the situation, someone who couldn't hold their tongue anymore, the meeting between Papoose and Claressa at that hotel wasn't romantic. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't tender. It wasn't even calm. It was an ending. They said Papoose walked into that room with one intention: to end things for good. Not the temporary, we need space type of ending. Not the maybe we can fix this later ending. This was final, solid, heavy. The kind of ending a man reaches only after fighting a battle he knows he can't win, no matter how loyal he tries to be. Claressa, however, wasn't ready for any of it. The moment he told her they needed to talk, her voice cracked. She reached for him, grabbed his arm, pulled him closer, desperately trying to understand what was happening. A witness swore they heard her whisper, voice trembling, "You said you weren't going back to her." Those words alone were enough to shake the internet when the rumor hit social media, because everyone knew who her was: Remy, the woman with history, the woman with legacy, the woman with a love story intertwined with Papoose's career, identity, and growth. It was never just romance between them. It was a lifetime. Maybe that's why Claressa felt insecure. Maybe that's why she fought harder. Maybe that's why the relationship felt like a never-ending competition with ghosts from the past. When Papoose finally walked out of that hotel room that night, witnesses said he didn't look angry at Claressa. He looked disappointed in himself, like he'd been running from a truth he already knew. Like he had tried to build something new while still carrying pieces of something unfinished. And that's when the real bomb dropped. A private email allegedly leaked a message from Papoose to Remy's team. Not a threat, not an argument, not a demand, just a simple request. He wanted to talk. That was the moment fans realized this entire situation was deeper than a breakup. It wasn't about cheating. It wasn't about loyalty tests. It wasn't about jealousy. It was about a man who finally hit the limit of pretending he was okay without the one person he never truly stopped loving. Remy wasn't ready for that message. She didn't respond right away. In fact, she didn't respond for nearly 2 days. 2 days where Papoose reportedly checked his phone like a man hoping for a miracle. 2 days where blogs exploded with speculation. 2 days where Claressa posted cryptic workout clips with captions like, "Loyalty is everything." Until it's not. But on the 3rd day, Remy finally answered, not with paragraphs, not with emotions, not with explanations, just one cold sentence. "You should have thought about this before." According to someone close to Papoose, that sentence broke him more than any argument ever could. He didn't sleep that night. He replayed every memory. The good, the bad, the painful, the beautiful. All the years, all the history, all the moments that made Remy more than just a partner. She had been his anchor, and despite the pain, he realized something. He wasn't done. 2 days later, he showed up at Remy's studio unannounced. No appointment, no warning, no permission, just a man trying to fix what he had broken. Witnesses say he looked nervous, like a man about to confess something that could change everything. And when he walked into the studio, Remy froze. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She didn't push him away. She just stared at him like she was seeing a ghost she thought she had buried. Before she could speak, Papoose did something nobody expected. He apologized, not dramatically, not loudly, not begging, just quietly. "Honestly, I'm sorry. I messed everything up, and I don't know how to fix it." In that moment, Remy's expression shifted. Everything she'd built to protect herself, the anger, the pride, the silence, cracked. Because in front of her wasn't the version of him the internet argued about. It wasn't the man tied up in rumors. It wasn't the man Claressa had been posting cryptic messages about. It was the man who had loved her through storms she thought would destroy her. The man who wrote letters to her when she was at her lowest. The man who raised her kids like they were his own. The man who stood beside her when the world doubted her. This wasn't about blogs. This wasn't about Claressa. This wasn't about redemption. It was about two people who had lived an entire lifetime together, trying to make sense of where everything went wrong. Remy asked him one question. Just one. "Do you still love me?" He didn't hesitate. Not even for a second. Yes. And that single word shifted everything. But the peace didn't last long, because nobody knows how she found the location. Claressa suddenly walked into the studio. Maybe someone told her. Maybe she tracked his phone. Maybe she followed him. But the second she stepped inside and saw them standing face to face, her entire body tensed, her jaw locked, her eyes burned into Remy. "Wow," she said, voice shaking. "So this is why you ended things." Papoose tried to explain, but she didn't want explanations. She stepped closer, her voice rising, emotions spilling faster than she could control them. "You made me look stupid. You told me you were done with her. You told me we were building something real. And now you're here begging her like nothing happened?" She turned to Remy, voice dripping with heartbreak. "Congratulations. You win." Remy stayed silent. She didn't gloat, didn't smirk, didn't respond. Her silence said more than any words could. Papoose stepped between them, not to defend one or attack the other, but to prevent the moment from turning into something no one could take back. "Claressa, please," he whispered. "This isn't how I wanted things to go." But Claressa wasn't done. "You know the crazy part?" she yelled. "I knew you were still in love with her. Everybody knew. The whole world knew. I was just stupid enough to think maybe I could be enough." The room went silent. Claressa wiped her tears, turned, and walked out. And for the first time, Papoose didn't chase her. He just watched her leave, knowing a chapter of his life had officially ended. When he turned back to Remy, she was already gathering her things. Her face wasn't angry. It wasn't smug. It was sad, because she knew what came next. "Pap," she whispered, "I don't want to be the reason you hurt somebody." "You're not," he said softly. "I hurt her by trying to replace something I never stopped wanting." Remy looked down, the weight of everything settling onto her shoulders. "So what now?" she asked. Papoose stepped closer, slowly, carefully, like a man afraid to hope. "Now I fix what I broke," he said. "If you'll let me." She didn't answer immediately. She took one long, shaky breath, like she was letting go of years of confusion, anger, and unresolved feelings. Then finally, she nodded once, and that was enough to shift everything. But the world wasn't ready for what came next, because the moment Papoose walked out of the studio, paparazzi swarmed him from every direction, shouting questions he couldn't answer fast enough. "Did you break up with Claressa? Are you getting back with Remy? Is the fight rumor true? What happened in that hotel?" He didn't respond. He just kept walking, Head down, heart racing, knowing the truth would come out soon enough. And when it did, the world would never look at him, Remy, or Claressa the same way again.